You can't hit a target you can't see. That quote from Zig Ziglar has been really relevant over the past couple years for me, more specifically over the past couple weeks. I'm actually in Tokyo right now. I'm kind of in this little alley here, but I'm getting back from two masterminds. One mastermind I hosted in Bali, and another mastermind one of my friends hosted up north in Japan. It was a snowboarding trip. It's a lot of fun, and there was it's a combination of some six-figure entrepreneurs, 7, 8, some people that are doing $50 million a year, some people that have sold their company, a combination of just a lot of high-level people too. And it was really cool because, they had a great opportunity of some great speakers coming through. Always learn a lot from this. And I think the other thing that is really relevant for me is always just like building my network, right? But what I'm trying to get at with this is like one of the things that I picked up on here is they had something where at the end of each day we would break into like think tanks is what they called it, and this is a smaller group. This isn't a huge group that are coming through here by any means, but in this mastermind, we'd break into think tanks. And in these think tanks, essentially what would happen is one person would come on board and they'd be like, all right, these are the biggest problems inside my business right now. And everybody would collectively come up with solutions for them. And the common trend I found with the 3 think tanks that I was in, I actually left a day earlier to come over to Tokyo here because I wanted to experience just the city, the culture, and it's so beautiful here. If you've never been to Tokyo, I would highly recommend that you do. It's just super clean, and it's like, the way I describe it is almost kind of like if you took New York and California and put it together and just got rid of the homeless and the the smelly side streets and just all the bad shit, you'd end up with Tokyo. It's absolutely gorgeous here. But anyways, what I'm trying to get at is, at this mastermind, the common trend that everybody was running into was they just didn't know what their end goal was. And if you don't know what your end goal is, I call it your North Star. If you don't know where you're going, how do you expect to get there? And I won't go into all the details of specific people I spoke with, but a lot of them, it got them all mixed up. So they started other businesses on the side, or they started doing other things that weren't relevant, or they're so focused on this one thing in their business when in reality it was the wrong thing to focus on because they didn't know what their actual end goal was. And if you don't know where your end goal is or where you're going, it's kind of like me getting to Tokyo right now. I left Tampa, where I live, and I flew to Washington. I flew from Washington to Bangkok for a couple days, and then Bangkok to Bali, where I hosted our mastermind. And then from Bali, we went over to northern Japan. I think it was Sapporo. Flew into Sapporo, and then it was like Nizuko or something. I'll mispronounce it. Let me know in the comments down below how bad I mispronounced that. But then from Nizuko to Tokyo, I knew all this. I had it all planned out. I had it all visualized, each step of the way, each stop, each airline, everything. I could see it in front of me. And you think when it's traveling, it's like, oh man, that's easy. Everybody does that. Yeah. But not everybody does that with their business. The steps on each way. How much money you want to make, how much you need to make to live your dream life. One person I was talking to was talking about scaling a big team to 7 figures because all he wanted to do was just travel the world. And he said, in order to do that, I asked him, I'm like, how much do you need to do that? He gave me a number. I was like, okay, how much are you making right now? And he gave me a number that was more than that number. I was like, well, dude, you're already there if that's what you want. Is that actually what you want? And he goes, well, I don't know. I don't know what I want. How do I know? You don't know until you take time to do it. I've worked with, at this point, just in the last 3 years, over 1,500 online coaches just by itself. Previous to that, I used to run an agency. I had all kinds of stuff. And actually, specifically, this really resonates to me because I hit a crazy burnout phase because I didn't know where I wanted to go. I didn't know what the end goal was. Most of you guys won't know this, but I actually wrote a book about investing in Airbnbs. You know where that book is right now? It's sitting in a Google Drive that nobody will ever see. The reason no one's ever going to see it is because I realized I lost my focus. I lost my attention. I never actually had a North Star. My North Star was just grind my ass off and make a lot of money because that was a cool thing to do. This is about 4 years ago or so. And I'll never forget, I had an agency. I had 2 agencies actually. I was doing e-commerce. I had Airbnb investments. I was in crypto, all kinds of different things. Because I was looking at social media, it's like, oh, you have to have all these different ways to get rich. And it's like, no. I had that big breakthrough where that's actually the last thing in the world you need. And long story short, wrote a book about Airbnb investing, and I never published it. Never published it because right before I was about to publish it, title, everything, book cover, everything, it's done. I had the breakthrough. I'm like, I don't want to be known as the Airbnb guy. Why? Because I already had over 5 years of experience in marketing. So I was like, well, maybe if I can just get better at this and just focus all my time and attention on this, like double down on what's good, double down on what you're already good at. And that's what I did. And from there, my North Stars changed. I actually came up with 5 North Stars I wanted to hit. That's the other thing. Don't just have one. Have one that's realistic and have outreach goals that you can hit. And the first one, I'll tell you my first 2. The first one inside the company was to make $50K profit in 1 month. Did that. The next one was $100K a month profit in 1 month in just one business. And I did both of those, and it made me so much more happier than I was with all these other businesses. Because the other thing is, when you focus, the ability that you can produce inside your business when you focus is insane. You can literally, with today's world, you can remove yourself from your business and just travel the world full time in Tokyo. I'm literally on the other side of the world right now. This is the first time I've ever done this, where it's literally, I think we're 13-hour difference, which is absolutely insane. My business is still running. Everything is still working. And that was just like the big idea I had, was just like, dude, you have to find your North Star. And if you don't know where your North Star is, take some time to write it down. I guarantee you 90% of you watching this video right now don't have your North Star. If you think you do, I would challenge you probably don't. And I also guarantee about 80% of you watching this aren't going to do this one simple thing, is just go get a Google Doc, get a pen and paper, and just write for 30 minutes to an hour of what you want. What is your ideal dream life? Because a lot of times we think it's a lot more than what we actually need, and then we stress ourselves out from it. So if you can really simplify what you want, and don't hold anything back. Put down exactly what your dream outcome is. And then all you have to do is reverse engineer how to get there. You don't have to get there tomorrow. You don't have to get there the next day. You don't have to get there the next month. You don't even have to get there the next year. Like, be realistic with it too. I always say, don't just create goals for a year or 3. Like, actually plan the first one, plan the next one, and then just actually plan them. That's the first step, and then you can see how far you're getting into things. So those would be my recommendations, and like the biggest takeaway I had from this mastermind and working and consulting with a lot of other high-level entrepreneurs and people that are working on becoming high-level is like, dude, you just have to know where you're going. You just have to know what you want. And if you can do that and see your North Star, there's no reason you can't get there.